Hello Fox Squad, my name is Akira Strix, Aki for short. Welcome back to Dante's Awakening, Devil May Cry 3. So, as you can see here, because again this is a post-recording, or the gameplay was basically recorded first, I'm adding the commentary later. I'm just trying to level up everything that I can, but I'm holding back what I can level up because what I need to level up the other things, a bit too much for my liking. And considering these items can go for more, yeah, it's a bit much for me. But either way, on to Mission 5 of Devils and Swords. And those gatekeepers that we saw a glimpse of, basically giving us an idea of what the boss of this mission is going to be.
Look for me, devil boy, and welcome to hell. Please accept my gift. Don't be humble. Just take it. After all, we're buddies, aren't we?
Who said we were buddies? Okay, so that blood, I'm guessing that's blood, brings those creatures to life that were holding up that cauldron, or were basically being used, I should say, as legs for it.
To be honest, I was expecting something a little better than this.
So yeah, this is basically a brief trial that we are going through because of a new character that we have been introduced to, Jester. I put his name at the once he was introduced and once he had a speaking line or two. Something that I generally like to do, and I actually might consider doing again with the other Devil May Cry games. Not really much to this part of the 5th mission. All I have to really do is shoot these bird-like creatures a good number of times, and they turn into stone, and once they do, you have to go up to them and make sure to slash them until they break into pieces, as you can see. And the reason that I'm using the pistols, Ebony and Ivory, is because not only did I just level them up, they're also faster, but also slightly stronger and have much better range than the shotgun does. And of course, I go in here, and there's Jester again.
Welcome to hell. Or you can expect us.
Now, Jester himself is not a boss, despite having that life gauge at the bottom of the screen. Like, because again, there would be no reason for him to be a boss this early in the game. It would be just a little too quick. And really all I'm doing is just shooting at him. Occasionally I will be slashing at him because slashing does more damage. Although I do just about as much damage, even though not nearly as much, with the guns. Especially when he's way too far away for me to get to before he disappears again. But I got him good enough here. And I get the feeling that this won't be the last time that we see him. He'll probably have more trials like this later on in the game. But as of right now, this is the only time we ever encounter anything related to Jester, aside from the cutscene at the end of Mission 4. Now, basically what I need to do here is go back to that spiral stairway. Okay, thank you, past me. And get to, I believe it is the, oh, that's right, no, first I have to go all the way up to the right side of the pathway while collecting some red orbs, because I kind of just had to. Because I got the astronomical board, and I need that to get rid of those get rid of these pieces in the wall to open up more pathways that I can go through. And the reason I need to do that is because there is an ornament that I need to get that acts as a lever. So as you can see there, I put in the astronomical board. The gears are now turning, and the pieces of the wall are sliding back into the wall. And that shining object there is what I need to get at. And there's also that platform that I can use to get back up as high as it'll take me. It doesn't work like an elevator by just going up after standing on it. No, instead what it does is it bounces me up. It's like taking a high jump, as it were. Or making a high jump, I guess I should say. But either way, I still have to make my way to the ornament that I need by before going through that blue door again. The blue doors, I should say. And you will see that some of these jumps take a bit longer than even I'd like, just to get them done. Okay, there's the Vajra, model of ancient weapon used to control lightning. This is merely an ornament. So, as cool as it looks, we can't use that thing as a weapon. But of course, I go up through the blue doors, slash through some more zombies. Of course, they're slashing back at me, but that's okay. I'm better than they are, being the main character and all. Dante being a DILF before, you know, people started calling him a DILF. Although he doesn't really look it until maybe Devil May Cry 4, but that's not going to be for some time. Not yet, anyway. Anyways, gotta go to this bit over here. Use the Vajra. Oh, also, I just recently looked up what the tower that Dante is currently climbing is actually called. It is called the Temen-ni-gru or something like that. Yeah, I believe it's Temen-ni-gru. Or at least that's how it's spelled. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. But behind that steel cage, I got the Soul of Steel. And that is actually what I need to actually get to the next part of the area. Basically, if you remember from the previous video where I ran across these stairs that crumbled, leading me to an underground area before dealing with the Gigapede. Yes, that's what it's called, in case you didn't know. Which is like the giant beastly centipede that that I sliced to death, or slashed to death with the Cerberus weapon. And that was me showing off the Sting move that I bought after customizing the Rebellion. And yes, Rebellion is what the sword that Dante carries is called. In fact, that's going to be his old reliable, except for in Devil May Cry 1. But then again, I might as well just call that Devil May Cry because it's the first game in the series. So there's no real need to call that anything special. That's why this game is being called Dante's Awakening, because it feels like it's making sense. I mean, it is about Dante's awakening. But that realization for him doesn't happen until later on in the game. And actually might not be until the next video, which will be next week by the time I upload this. And I should preface something. Certain cutscenes that happen in the game, you might notice this when they do play. Most cutscenes, because they're still being run through the in-game engine, they will run at a smooth 60 frames per second, but other cutscenes, like certain pre-rendered ones, will run at 30. And of course I switched to the Cerberus here because, well, they're a little bit faster to use. And sometimes speed is what I need. Yeah, I know what I said, shut up. So now that I have the Soul of Steel, what I actually have to do is make my way back to the yellow doors, and I don't realize this until a little bit later in the recording, that I really had to just go through the yellow doors and move on from there. Well, I have to get to the yellow doors first. So just give me a second here, because after I get up in the recording, up to the floor I mean, there we go. Okay, gonna move on just a little bit. Whoop, whoop. No, I don't want to go that far back. Yeah, at this point I have finally realized that I have to go this way, and where that stairway crumbled in the last video, I can now go across it now that I have the Soul of Steel, and basically I have to use the Soul of Steel to open that door. But of course, there is another statue like this that most likely, of course, has a blue orb fragment. And I believe once I open it, it'll have been the fourth blue orb fragment that I had gotten. So that means that a blue orb will now be in my collection. And there's another blue orb. Gather 4 orb fragments to form perfect crystal. This boosts one's power limits. And I think I said in a previous video that all that really does is increase my health a little bit. It doesn't make me stronger, because Dante's plenty strong already. And with that, the doors have opened. Now I can just... Of course, I'm going to be moving on to the next area, switching back to the the rebellion. Now, that little red knob on the wall to the right, I'll show it again when it's in frame. That the red knobs on the wall with the skull, if I was to interact with that, it would just give me a special mission where I have to do a certain like a challenge in a certain amount of time. But of course, I'm not going to do that because I don't care about that. At least not with this particular playthrough. Like, I might do it off screen. But then again, if I really wanted to get everything quicker, I would just use the cheat code that unlocks everything. And of course, because I'm using Trickster as the combat style, I have now leveled up to level 2 of Trickster. There are 3 levels in all for each mode. 1 for Trickster, like I said. 1 for Swordmaster, which is another mode. Another mode is Gunslinger, and there is one more that I can't remember the name of right off the bat. I'd have to look again just to be sure. And of course, I get what goodies are here. And there's another statue where I can get items if I so need to. In fact, I might be getting an item or 2 in just a second. Oh, keep it on the Cerberus. Okay, there we go. Yeah, getting another Vital Star because I used it in the previous video without meaning to. But of course I get a large Vital Star first before getting a smaller one. or another 2, I should say, for both. And not much else to get there, so now I can go through the door. Now we're in the Firestorm Chamber, and another cutscene is about to play, so I will be quiet.
Look, brother, it's been ages, but we finally have company. I see that. We must entertain our guest. You're right. We have to be gracious hosts. What should we do? How do I know? We need to come up with something. Brother, our guest is sighing. Sigh? What is sigh? Well, a sigh is when...
Enough already! How long are you two gonna keep carrying on like this? In case you didn't get the hint, I'll spell it out. Your guest wants to go through. Got it?
Our job here is to guard this pool. That's right. We can't let you pass.
And here we have the boss of love, I guess I should say bosses of Mission 5. So I know that these guys will say their name in the next cutscene after I beat them here. But these guys are Agni and Rudra. And after beating these guys, very much like what I did with the Cerberus in Mission 3, I will be using them as another weapon. So basically, Dante is getting another toy. But of course, these guys are not proving to be very easy to deal with, especially since I'm dealing with 2 bosses instead of 1 this time. Not that it matters too much. Besides, it doesn't even freeze them in place, like you'd think. But of course, I think I've already got 1 down, or almost. That's 1 down, and only 1 more to go. Okay, now one brother has both blades and is going to try to kill me with them. But of course I have to be extremely careful now, because if I'm not careful, occasionally he'll do that move where it's 3 rings of fire. Yeah, where's Johnny Cash when you need him? And if I'm not careful, I'll get hurt by said rings of fire, but that's also why I quickly used a small vital star here for a little bit of health. I don't need that much, but just enough to last the fight a little bit longer. Or last a bit longer in the fight, that's what I meant to say. And I've almost got him. Come on, past me. You can do this. And there we go. Now, for whatever reason, it doesn't show the Steam achievements when I recorded this.
Yes, wait. We have been waiting for a long time. Yes, a very long time. For someone stronger than us. Someone who can control us. My name is Agni. And my name is Rudra. You shall take us with you. We could be a great help to you.
Okay, but on one condition.
What is it? Name it.
No talking.
Fair enough. As you wish.
I guess Dante doesn't like weapons that blab. Yeah, Dante prefers doing the blabbing himself.
No talking.
Yeah. Yes, Daddy.
Good.
Anyways, now we have Agni and Rudra, blades with serrated... Hold on, what does that say? serrated edges that hurl forth fire and tornado-like gusts. Okay. Because I actually needed a little bit of time to actually read that. And of course some more extra red orbs for good measure. And I go through the door, and the mission ends. Yeah, this one went on a little bit longer than even I would have liked, but what can you do? Either way, moving on to mission 6. Oh. Ah, this is actually a pre-rendered cutscene, because now it's running at 30 frames per second instead of 60. Which means it's not being done in-game, essentially. There's the hottie from earlier who was on the motorcycle. Had to rub my nose because I don't want to be sneezing at the storm. She seems to be packing a lot of weapons. I don't remember her having pockets, though. Let's not think too much about it. I don't think we should. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Does she have shorts, or is she wearing a skirt? Okay, no, it's a skirt. Okay. But of course, using the rocket launcher again. And now there is a 6. So apparently that woman is going to keep doing that in a cutscene at like every 3 levels. So like every 3rd mission, she's going to do that. Like first it was a 3, then it'll be a 6, and the next time we will see that kind of thing again will be when I get to mission 9. But that's going to be later down the road. And I think at this point, I'm just trying to look for something to level up to see if I should. I'm not going to skip through it that much. And I'm just getting what I can without paying for too much in terms of red orbs. And I don't know why I felt the need to look at that. It doesn't really matter to me. But was going ahead and getting the windmill move for Cerberus as well. Since especially I won't be using Cerberus in the next mission once it actually does start. I'll be switching out the Cerberus for Agni and Rudra because, well, might as well use those bad boys. Might as well try them out, since I just got them. And I always like to try out new toys whenever I get one. But then again, everybody does that, so what am I saying? Anyways, Mission 6, Family Ties. The goddess statue's piercing stare is focused on the front door. So basically we have to get that statue that I just interacted with to blast that door open. And I kind of figure out in just a few seconds that I have to go through the other door and complete a series of 3 tests, if I remember right. Because believe it or not, completing the 3 trials gets me an item that I can use on that statue. And sure, it can blast open the pathway for the door so that I can move on to the next area. But more importantly, if I get all 3 items, to put into the statue, I will get another new toy. From crawling infant to man standing tall to man leaning on cane. So basically what that means is the order is 4, 2, and 3. So, because the infant would basically be an infant, or a baby would be on all fours, a man would be standing on 2 feet, and an old man leaning on a cane would basically be 3 lights, or 3 dots, I suppose. So, again, 4, 2, 3. And with that, I got the essence of intelligence. And next up, I believe, is... I think it actually says it here. I think the second one that I'm about to get to is technique, and then the other one has to do with combat, and the third and final one, I should say, deals with combat, I believe. No, skill, I'm sorry. Because there's not really much in terms of technique going on here. I just had to avoid getting touched by these spikes, and I think I get touched by them at least once. But it's not really enough to slow me down completely. Just gotta be extra careful. Yeah, there it is. Then I boosted a bit to get to the essence faster. Oh no, I guess it is essence of technique. Never mind. After I collect that essence, the spikes don't come out of the holes anymore, but now I have more of the annoying bird enemies, along with some regular demon grunts that I have to slice to bits. Because they bad boys, and we don't like the bad boys. Well, not these bad boys, anyway. And I don't like those kind of birds. Yeah, by the way, I kind of should make it clear that when you try to fight these bird-like enemies, don't just try to slice at them. Turn them to stone before you do that. It makes them easier to kill. Now, I think because the music is still yeah, because the music was still going, there's still more demons I have to slaughter. Okay, now I think the room is clear. And with that, I just have to go through the last pathway to get the last through the last trial. I believe it has to do with combat. Okay, light all of the crests to suppress the evil spirit's rage. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is like the trial of combat or something like that. I don't quite remember, since it's been a while since I last played this game. Trial of the Warrior. Okay, close enough. Might as well be the Trial of Combat, because that's what I'm doing. And then, of course, there's those wheel items, just like that. Now, despite them being present and being unlit, as you can see, the point of this trial is to not try to light them again. That doesn't really make things go by faster. You just gotta beat the crap out of these guys and hope that you don't... and hope that you don't get killed yourself. Which, even on the easiest difficulty, is surprisingly easy to do, especially if you're not careful. And then there's these big throbbing guys here. Basically, you just gotta shoot them to take care of them, because it's not recommended to slice at them. In fact, never do that. Especially considering they can just go off like an explosive. Not really much else to this. just gotta slaughter each of these guys, and then I can get the essence that's waiting. And I'm doing my best to get good use out of Agni and Rudra. They're actually pretty useful. Although I should try to level them up as best I can. Kind of does make me wish that I had them leveled up already, but, you know, again, kind of need more red orbs to even get that done. But over time, I'm sure that I will get them maxed out in terms of leveling. Same with the guns as well. But with all those enemies down, I get the last essence, the essence of fighting. Now all I have to do is just go back the way I came, get to the goddess statue that will blast the pathway open to the other door that I couldn't get through. And then, of course, get my new toy. Yeah, just ignore the statue for now. Or that statue, and go to the goddess statue. Use the essence of fighting. Okay, nothing happened. It even said that. Put in the essence of technique. Statue lights up, aims at that pathway, blows the debris away with a powerful shot. And now, last but not least, the essence of intelligence. And with that, there is my new toy, the Artemis. A gun of the demon world that discharges arrows concentrated with demon energy. So it's basically like a demonic-ish, like a demon crossbow, but you can wear it on your arm. And you can see me just switching out the shotgun, which I, of course, have not been getting much good use out of with the Artemis. I won't be getting much use out of Artemis either, unfortunately, because, again, I don't want to pay 10,000 red orbs that I don't have at the moment to level either of those weapons up yet. Ugh. No, go out the door. That's better. And for whatever reason, using Ebony and Ivory while also having the Artemis also applies. Make it that way you will. Anyways, going through here, using Agni and Rudra to get this statue, to get another blue orb fragment. Yeah, so nothing out of the ordinary here. I guess I should also take the time to say that when it comes to statues like this, what you want to do is to make the combo go faster and increase, you want to go for the areas that are still very much lit. Like what I'm doing here, or what I'm trying to do here. Like, certain parts will not register for some reason. Not really sure why. But I'm still doing the best I can. There we go. And with that, another blue orb fragment, number 5 out of 30. Well, actually, I don't know how many there are altogether, but... And for some reason, I think the... Oh, never mind. The footage is back at 60 frames per second. Maybe certain parts of the game were not rendering as fast as I would like them to. Not that it matters.
Well, well. You've grown stronger.
Go to hell.
You point a gun at me, your own kin, your dear papa.
Wait, what?
The only I ever had was my mother. And she's dead.
I guess they were related somehow, having...
After all, it was I who gave you your name, my darling daughter.
Oh, and there she goes. I'm still not going to give her name away just yet because despite what it looks like here, she hasn't died. And she's not going to die. And the reason I know she doesn't die is because she comes back in the later games. Anyways, I believe that is it for this part of Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening, or Dante's Awakening, Devil May Cry 3. Next time, I assume we shall get into... Hold on, let me just see here. We will get into who that lady actually is. Again, not giving any spoilers here. But also, she will finally catch up with Dante, who in turn is going to catch up with Vergil sometime later. So, with all that said, thank you for watching, it really helps the channel out. I've been Akira Strix, Aki for short, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.